What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Steelers Now Postgame. I am Zachary Smith, joined, of course, by Alan Saunders of Steelers Now. Alan, this feels weird for me. Just off the jump, I got to say it. You not being in the stadium, it feels odd to me. I'm sure it does for you as well. I don't know if I like it.
I do not like it. Not a fan at all. Hate covering the game from TV. Did not enjoy it. Would not recommend.
Okay. All right, we're going to dive into this. Obviously, let us know your comments as we go through it. Be sure to like, subscribe, as well as we talk through this one. And I'll be honest, first thought immediately when the game wrapped up is I thought the Steelers played too well in this one to be on the edge of my seat at the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think my big takeaway is the first three games of the year, the Steelers got pretty roundly outplayed by their opponent and were in a close game at the end. This time, I think they were on the other – she was on the other foot there, is that they pretty roundly outplayed the Vikings and they were in a close game at the end. And, yeah, that would be lovely to not be in those from time to time. I don't know how realistic that was with this team. I think the Vikings were a bad matchup for the Steelers. I wasn't expecting them to roll over and die when the game got up, although I did think the Steelers' defense played pretty well with the lead. I do think the Steelers' offense is just not necessarily built for this, especially without Jaylen Warren. I thought they had many opportunities to put this game away and just continued to come up short.
I don't know why, but this one made me laugh right away. And I'm not highlighting this just because his name is Smitty, but Mike Tomlin just wanted to improve his one-score game-winning record. So maybe that's it. Because this game, it looked like it could get out of hand. Being a Steelers fan and watching this play out many times, I knew that wasn't going to be the case. And it still would potentially be close. But even like the Vikings having a ball chance to even like kick a field goal to tie it, I don't know. I mean, the first thing I want to go to, Alan, I don't want to necessarily work in reverse here, but at the end of the game, the Steelers have a chance to just go for it on fourth down and not even have the Vikings touch the ball again. They had taken, they go for it on fourth down in a goal line situation prior to not go for it there. What do you make of that decision?
I think that decision was far less defensible than the goal line situation where it was 3 yards instead of a half a yard. And there is value to kicking the field goal and forcing – then the Vikings on that last drive have to score a touchdown, right? Mm-hmm. Now, you're giving them more time, obviously, but
sure.
And so, yeah, I would have done it the opposite way. I think I'd have kicked the field goal at the 3 and gone for it, especially when you punt the ball. I mean, was Quos Waitman told to punt the ball in the end zone? I mean, it landed 9 yards deep in the end zone.
I was just saying, it didn't look like he was trying to pin it. It was just like, I'm booting this as much as I can.
So, that was I mean, that's to me, that's absurd. 20 yards, they'll gain that back in 2 plays with a defense that's trying to defend the sidelines. I mean, that's not hard at all. So, yeah. Didn't like that decision. Didn't think I was okay with the fourth down choice at the goal line, but I probably would have kicked that one. Be interested to see what the
well, see, that's the thing. Regardless of which direction you go there, it's just interesting to me that they go in that situation but don't go in the other.
Especially when you got. I mean, you ran on 4th and 3 and you got 2.5, and then you're at 4th and a half. I don't know. I also feel like if they hadn't already used the trick tush push play, they probably would have used it there. But they had already gone to that well once, and then maybe didn't want to try it again.
Yeah, potentially. As is typically the case during the post-game shows, we kind of jump around the board here depending on what you guys want to talk about. And I've already seen the comments as expected with some love for Kenny G here, Kenneth Gainwell. I mentioned my first thought when the game wrapped up is they played too well to be on the edge of my seat at the end. My second thought was, did we just watch Kenny Gainwell have a Jalen Samuels against the Patriots performance? Because he was awesome in this one. And honestly, just the offensive line, I think you got to tip your cap to, especially what they did in the run game. Is it okay to say that Roger Jones played pretty well in this one, at least upon the live view? There's some good things to take away, I think, from what they were able to do offensively.
Kenny Gainwell was awesome, man. Set career highs in basically every rushing statistic. It was just his 5th career start, even though this guy's been around for a while. What an awesome performance from him. And was really, to me, the best player on the team for the Steelers, just like Jaylen Warren has been the first 3 weeks. I thought we talked on Friday. I thought this was going to be a close game, come down to the final possession. I had the Vikings winning it. But when they lose Jalen Warren, and it was everything I was hearing was that as of this morning, the expectation was he was going to play. I don't know what happened, if he went out there in warmups and something didn't feel right or what, but this wasn't a decision that was made like big
Right.
picture. He was expected to play. Kenny Gainwell did not know before this morning that he was going to play in this game as much as he did. And when that happened, I'm thinking, ooh, I don't even know if we can get to a close game in this one. This may be ugly. And then instead, Gainwell's the best player on either team and is the biggest reason the Steelers win the game.
Absolutely. You talked about not just because of Jalen, but you see the other Jalen Ramsey with an injury, Brandon Eccles, Darius Slay going down again, but in and out. Obviously still waiting for Joey Porter Jr. to get back. And then on the other side of the offense with Calvin Austin exiting this game and then leaves in an ambulance with his arm in a sling. That's not good. But we talked about the bye week coming at a perfect time. I mean, with everything that's been going on, it certainly feels like week 5, for as much as we hated it to begin with. When I say we, I mean the fan base, not Allen included within that. Was not a fan of it. It seems like it's coming at the right time. In regards to Calvin, though, because I see Drake asked about it here, who takes over that role with Calvin out, assuming that it is going to be a longer-term thing?
Roman Wilson, probably.
That's what you would hope for, right? I mean,
it'll be a combination of him and other players, but I mean, I think the slot role for sure goes to Roman Wilson. We'll see who takes the outside snaps in 12. Maybe some more Ben Skoranek, I think, is who replaced him at the end of the game in game here with that. And I'm fine with that. It's not like Roman Wilson's playing well when he's out there right now. Like, I don't think you need to force more reps. Give him something that he's been good at, and let's see how he handles that. Now him leaving in an ambulance, I wouldn't read a lot into that. They don't have medical facilities in the building like NFL stadiums do. So if he needed an MRI, if he needed an X-ray, even, I think he had to leave the building to get that done. So, not like the same circumstance you would see where, generally speaking, if you leave an NFL stadium in an ambulance, it's usually not good. I wouldn't jump to that conclusion now. The cornerback situation. Well, I mean, Slay leaves, comes back. Ramsey leaves with the hamstring. Eccles, that looked non-contact, didn't it? I mean, it looked bad. And then all of a sudden, you got James Pierre, the only guy healthy in there. And then the busted coverage immediately after that to Addison, which is going to happen, especially when you're
the very next play. It's one play after. That's why I wasn't making too much of that. I mean, I get like it's been a recurring thing with busted coverage and stuff like that, but like take in consideration that you had just seen another corner go down, and like you said, James Pierre was really the only guy that was healthy at that point. I mean, just putting in my mind because you said that Peyton Wilson tracking Addison on that in 22.48 miles per hour.
The player of the game, but that's the play of the game.
Yeah, the amount of time that it took off the clock, even though I know that they end up scoring, but like that obviously turned out to be massive that he was able to do that. Thank you, Train, as you come passing by. I don't know if you guys hear it, but another thought that was put in my mind here. I know Brandon Griffin brings up the entire D-line here, but I mentioned I could see this being a redemption week for a lot of guys, and man, did Keanu Benton have not just his best game of the season, but I thought career in this one.
Yeah, I thought we finally saw the Steelers defense able to play with the lead for a little bit. You really saw what that pass rush can do when they get in that circumstance. I thought they looked really, really good. And they've been beaten by the run so much, and, really credit to them. I think they mostly held Jordan Mason in check, 57 yards on 16 carries, but also the offense gets out to that lead, and then they're able to make the Steelers as a team were able to make Minnesota one-dimensional for the Steelers defense. I think that really makes this game what it is that they're able to tee off on Carson Wentz and really get after him. 7 sacks, I think.
7, yep. And Nick Herbig continues to take He doesn't care what your name is. He doesn't see that last name of Darisaw on the back of that jersey.
Owned him. Keanu Benton was great. They blitzed. They have been blitzing a good bit, but I thought they blitzed different guys. We saw Patrick Queen come on a delayed blitz. We saw Deshaun Elliott. Thought it was coming from different places. and I thought that was very effective as well.
Real quick, this one's more of a funny thing to throw in here. Dave Foulshifter throwing it in our faces. Yep, should have picked the Steelers to win. We know, Dave. Clean sweep across the board for the Steelers now crew. Tyler, keeping the around the 412 crew at least 500. He picked the Steelers to win this one. He might have had the score, to be honest with you. But I'll have to go back and look for that. We did see a little bit more of Caleb Johnson as well. What did you make of him? JMX2323, not impressed. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said he looked horrible. Didn't look horrible. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the pass, even though it was going nowhere, it just kind of shows you the receiving issues, right? That go beyond pass protection. I thought when he ran the ball, he ran hard. He looked good out there. Fine. I've never been worried about his ability to run the ball. It's everything else, and clearly the everything else is still a work in progress.
Yeah. I see, I'm just scrolling through the comments here, and obviously I'm a bit behind. I see people bring up it was Chuck Clark on the busted coverage. I wasn't saying it was James Pierre. I think we were just talking about the fact that, like, the corner situation.
You start to lose guys, and then, I think somebody there is playing out of position. I don't know who, but you got Elliott and Clark both on the same side of the field. And then Slay over there with Slay over there. Somebody needed to be the deep safety. I don't know who it was supposed to be, but if it was invert, then it was supposed to be Slay. If it was regular cover 2 or quarters, it was supposed to be Clark. Either way, that in that game situation, that really can't happen. But the way that happens is you've got a bunch of guys that aren't used to playing together, trying to communicate stuff, and it's difficult.
Dave, it's not funny that this happened, but Dave said Skyler should hit the Dublin streets with Washington after the game. Crazy that happened. I wonder, was he just alone? You'd think that these guys would be.
I'll say I don't know. I wasn't there, obviously, but I know that the team that was playing had fairly limited intentions of being out, from what I was told from everyone that I talked to. They said Saturday, it's like dinner, you go have one drink just to go see what the Dublin is all about, and then get to the hotel and get to bed. I don't know if things were different for the guys who weren't playing. Usually that would be the case. So
sorry to rehash something here, but Gino brings up a good point going back to the 4th and 1 thing and not going for it. They already had the injuries that they did in the secondary. So should that have played into their mind to go for it and not put those guys back onto the field with the rash of injuries?
Yeah, I don't not trust those guys. It's just, busted coverage can happen at any time. But, I don't think their defense was playing poorly, so I don't think it was wrong to trust the defense so much as it just is a bad piece of strategy.
My thought was this is the first time in a while where I feel like they were just dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides. Just let those guys ice the game. They were just completely owning the interior. And I would have liked to have seen them not even give Minnesota the ball back. Obviously there's the opportunity.
They have lots of good play calls that you could run there too. That Jonnu Smith tight end jet feels like an automatic right there to me. Put the extra offensive lineman in, just pack everybody inside, and then you get Jonnu out there in space.
Speaking of extra offensive linemen, a lot of Spence today.
Played well. He's been playing well. Had that great game against the Ravens in the playoffs, and it's been really good all year. I'm telling you, Spencer Anderson might be in the starting lineup next year.
The in-house option for Sam Oliver.
Yeah.
Anthony brings up DK moving around. Definitely saw a lot of him in the first half. The explosive play, the 80-yard touchdown, the longest play from scrimmage in an international game in the NFL. Found that piece of information out during the broadcast. But yeah, Greg Olsen, who I don't know how you feel personally. I love it when he's on the call. Doesn't happen too often for Steelers games, but I just think he's fantastic.
Yeah, that was the big upside of having to be at home, is that I did get to listen to Greg Olsen, who's, for my money, the best color commentator going.
Yeah. I just think he has a way, he gets it, obviously, from playing the game, the nuance, that he can speak with and break it down. He can use the terminology that makes sense to football people, but also make it, make sense for the casuals. But anyways, Anthony's point here about DK moving around, like Greg Olsen really highlighted it, how they were getting him in the slot, using him out wide. They get him on the middle crosser, obviously, and let him just create the explosive once he has the ball in his hands. We saw a lot more of it in the first half, and then obviously like playing with a big lead and the way they were running the football, didn't see it as much in the second half, but certainly encouraging going forward for DK that it wasn't just jump ball, contested catches, and screen plays.
Yeah, we saw that the slants and the digs and the comebacks were what he and Rodgers had been connecting on all training camp. And so I really felt like it was just a matter of time before we saw more of that in a regular season game.
The one thing Kobe brings us up here in terms of snaps. Yeah, I thought like it did. You could have told me Pat didn't play in this game. Other than the unfortunate gaffe on the field goal attempt. But like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I honestly don't know what to make of the tight end snaps as we sit here right now.
Yeah, I'll go back and look at the snaps. I didn't think any of the tight ends were very active in the receiving game. I mean, they didn't get targeted. No. I mean, Darnell had 3 catches for 20 yards. John had 2 for 6. It's not a big day for any of them. I thought they did a lot more with Darnell blocking, which I think is a good adjustment. If you looked at the first 3 games, if the team is struggling to run the ball the way they had been, and you got that guy just hanging around, why not put him out there more to block?
Yeah, it seemed like it went hand in hand with Spence being on the field more as that additional offensive lineman. FM said, did Peppers play? Don't remember seeing him. We mentioned during the week we weren't sure if this was going to be a big Jabril game. We saw a lot of Chuck Clark. I don't know how much Thornhill played, but he had a couple nice tackles around the line of scrimmage as well. But yeah, I didn't notice a ton of Peppers. I did this on Steelers Saturday sit down yesterday. I keep wanting to say Julius Peppers. It is Jabril Peppers, not Julius Peppers.
Yeah, I've been waiting for myself to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of repetition between what Deshaun Elliott brings to the table and what Jabril Peppers brings to the table. Unless you're in a real heavy run situation, I don't think you want those guys on the field at the same time. And the Steelers really avoided. I mean, that Minnesota was basically never in a real heavy run situation, so there wasn't a lot of need for him in this kind of game.
Brandon brought up TJ getting the interception, another play at the line of scrimmage. They just continue to get their hands on balls at the line of scrimmage, and it creates plays like this. Again, I saw a couple times today from non-Steelers fans throwing the word voodoo out there, Alan, and I know it would drive you nuts. They just continue to do this. They continue to do it. It's teach.
I did not see that, and I was not triggered, and now I am. So thank you for that. I appreciate.
Let's go. An impromptu triggering.
I think both interceptions were caused by deflection by a defensive lineman at the line of scrimmage also, which is something that the Steelers are just notorious for. Yeah, not voodoo. That's their thing, man. I was honestly surprised they didn't get one more.
Yeah,
Pierre was very close.
A lot of people confused at the beginning of the game, by the way.
James Pierre on the jugs machine. I mean, this two is a pattern, according to Mike Tomlin. We got to get him some more work over there.
True. I know a lot of people confused right out of the gate with the Jordan Mason fumble, didn't understand the role on that with the player being out of bounds and touching it. It happened to Deontay Johnson in the Seattle. If people remember, I think it was like New Year's Eve 2023, right around there.
Yeah.
It happened to Deontay in Seattle where they, benefited from it, obviously.
It happens on punts and kickoffs all the time where guys will put a foot out of bounds and then play the ball to blow the play dead. It's a fairly well-known rule, and there's no other way to do it. Like, people said, "Oh, it's the right call," but I hate the rule. What is the alternative to the rule? Just allowing people that are out of bounds to play the ball and play continue? I don't know. I just did not understand the people's reaction to that play. So as soon as I saw the replay, it was pretty obvious what was going to happen there.
A couple people bring up Derek Harmon as well. Kobe said Harmon had a sneaky, quiet, good game. I don't think it's a coincidence he comes back into the fold and they start playing that much better up front. I just think he changes the math for a lot of people. He changes the roles that guys can play, and what you get him back into the fold, and it's not just getting him back. It's getting guys in more advantageous situations. So it's getting one player better, but making a lot more guys play better.
Yeah, I agree. Didn't like the hands to the face personal foul.
Right under Kobe, vitamin peanut butter. What an interesting name that is. But that was a bad penalty.
I support that vitamin. That's
I'm not. Yeah, I would love to know the
inspiration
behind the name.
Food I can get behind.
I would love to know the inspiration. Noel said punt had nothing to do with short field. I'm a Coach T fan, but it ended 19 yards. That was stupid, especially after calling that run on goal to go. Coaching almost lost this game. No excuses.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing to add.
No, I mean it's a bad call.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought that, we talked about it. I guess we should bring up coaching in general, right? Because that was something maybe I more than you thought that they were mismatched when I looked at Kevin O'Connell and what he does offensively compared to Terrell Austin, Mike Tomlin defensively. And then I look on the other side, Artie Smith going against Brian Flores. I thought the Vikings had a mismatch there with their coaching advantage. And I feel like, now that we've seen the game play out, got to acknowledge that they did a pretty good job. I know that it came down and there was in my opinion, poor decision by Mike Tomlin to punt that football. But largely in this game, I don't think that there's a ton to gripe about.
No, I thought the offensive game plan, especially considering they lose Warren last second, looked good. The defensive game plan looked great. And really, the defense was dominant until they ran out of cornerbacks. So, yeah.
I don't know. I understand, it was the end of the game and maybe people are putting so much emphasis on it because of that. And I'm not trying to downplay because I'm in agreement with how bad of a call it was here. But, Jordan said excitement for all the improvements that they saw are tempered by how Tomlin managed the end of the game. I'm not there. Like, I feel far more encouraged by what I saw them be able to do there than have bad feelings about Tomlin's management at the end of that one. Personally, that's an opinion thing, obviously, Jordan. But
yeah, I mean, the defense getting banged up in the secondary and then giving up a 99-yard drive for a touchdown. I mean, it's not gonna happen very often. That game was over and it, played out the way it did. But I didn't ever think that the end of the game was ever really in doubt. So I don't know why any of that mattered.
I want to know the context behind this, unless I missed it above or something. Big Ben eating some humble pie. I would love to know what this is in relation to. I know that he called out specifically Broderick this past week. I'm wondering where that's going. Because like I said at the beginning, I'd have to go back and watch it. But live viewing, I thought Broderick played pretty well today in this one.
Yeah, I thought so too. Against a fairly good defense.
Yeah. And not just, and again, we talked about it this past week, but more so than the personnel. Like, yes, they have good players, but like this is a Brian Flores defense that came into today one or close to one in a lot of different defensive ranks, and I thought they held up very well against that group. Yeah, I did say that they would do. Gourmet. What is this name? Honestly, I want to bring this up mainly because of the name. Gourmet Diarrhea. Wilson is a future Steelers captain. Alan, we've talked about not just, from a play perspective, definitely. I thought Peyton Wilson had his best game, low bar compared to what he had looked like prior to, but I thought he had his best game today. I also think just like this year, and this goes back to training camp and everything like that, we saw him become more vocal. Just kind of seems like he was coming into himself, not as reserved. More of him coming out. Do you get the sense that this is something that's potentially in his future, though?
He has that personality. I could see it. They also have a lot of guys with that personality, so it'll be a competitive situation. But yeah, I mean, the number of people that had written off Peyton Wilson and Keanu Benton after a handful of, not even a handful, a half a handful of poor performances this year, to me was insane. These guys are going to be really good players for the Steelers for a really long time. So not at all surprised to see both of them with bounce back games. By the way, going back to that, my perception that this game was never in doubt.
Mhm.
3rd and 1 after the Gainwell run, Steelers winning percentage 89.1 according to ESPN Analytics. Even after the punt goes in the end zone for a touchdown, 87.7. So the smallest of changes there to the projected outcome of the game.
Yeah, and unless you're, the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, who for some reason find ways to win with that low of a win percentage that late in the game, then it ain't happening. So, wanted to bring this. I don't know if this was related to the Big Ben humble pie thing. Rodgers passed him for 5th place in all-time completions. Not sure if those were related.
Who
but
counts completions? I don't care.
I don't know. Were they letting Benton get loose and not trying to make him stop the run? Looked pretty good when he was getting deep into the Vikings backfield.
The Vikings didn't want to run. That's why. I wouldn't say that Benton is like, oh my God, back. I think he had a really good game. I'm not sure I'm going to feel so good about the Ravens yet until I see him play a little better against the run. But what Minnesota did was playing right into his strengths. Or what they had to do was playing right into his strengths.
Do you think that, not that it's related to this necessarily, but so the Steelers must sign a receiver preferably over 6 feet, but not necessarily related to that, Alan. I was just going to ask, obviously, if Calvin Austin is a more significant injury, what do you think happens there? I know that you mentioned, obviously Roman Wilson in-house, and we saw Scotty Miller obviously play more today. But would they look externally, do you think?
I mean, sure, but like must sign a wide receiver. Like people say things like this, and I'm like, okay, do you know like who? Like, I mean, there's
over 6 feet tall. I got Isaiah Hodgins.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody out there. Tyler Boyd, he's not 6 feet tall, but there's very few available receivers that you would ever want. Yeah.
Sam said that Big Ben said on his podcast the Steelers coaching staff would get out coached and out schemed. So yeah, I guess for that same reason, I will be sitting with Ben at that table eating that humble pie. Connor, bring up Dan Rooney here. Dan Rooney, his ancestors, smiling proudly down on Dublin today. Luck to the Irish and the Steelers as they pull off a big win. Play more games in Croke Park. I don't know if the players would love that idea with that playing surface and the way that they were slipping around and then the injuries kind of mounting towards the end. But we've talked about this, Alan. It certainly could be a place that they return to.
How about the atmosphere? It was such a clear Steelers home crowd. I mean, massive support for the Steelers there in Ireland. I do think they will play there again. I do.
Do you think it's I know that we talked a bit about this on Afternoon Drive. I don't remember if you said it's more of like if you gave like an order. Like, do you think they'll play in Mexico and in Dortmund before like Ireland becomes more of a regular thing?
I think they'll play in Mexico. They would have already played in the plan was for them to have already played in Mexico, but the stadium renovations at Estadio Azteca, which is where the Mexican national soccer team plays and where the NFL has played games in Mexico City before, have dragged on, and so they have not been able to play there in several years now. I would think that will definitely happen before they go back to Ireland. I don't know about Dortmund. My guess is that the Steelers will be the host team for both of those games, so it could be quite a while for whichever one comes second. I would guess that they'll play in both Mexico and Germany before going back to Ireland, but as well as this all went off, I mean, outside of somebody holding up Skylar Thompson for spending money,
I was gonna say, I don't know
if that's the only snag in all this, and a couple of injuries, and some slips. I thought the playing service looked pretty good though. It wasn't like it was coming up in chunks or anything. So yeah, I mean. From all accounts, and Dublin is such a great event city, a great tourist city that it's such a natural fit. But I really think the thing that's big for the Steelers is just building a fan base in Ireland, and going back there is what they have to do that.
Yeah, for sure. I told Tyler on Around the 412 that he mentioned Dortmund and his ears perked up. Loves Germany. His family's very rich in that. So I think that he will definitely be taking that trip if that's one that the Steelers make. DJ Chark's name brought up as a receiver that's out there. He had signed and then also gotten released already this offseason.
That's always what you want to see. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Putting you on the spot here is Brandon Griffin. Will JPJ and Alex Highsmith be back after the bye?
JPG, yes, absolutely. Alex Highsmith, probably. That's the way I'd go with those two.
Do we know anything about Ramsey's injury yet?
Hamstring.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I know that more injuries happen to the cornerbacks afterwards, but even when he first went back out there, I was like, it's nice to see that he can be out there. I'm not sure if I want him out there.
Agreed.
So I don't know. We'll see how this week looks like. Vincic starved. Even the throw over Skoranek in the end zone was exciting. At least Rodgers was seeing the dang field.
Yeah, he was mad about that one.
Yes, very animated actually. After that one, can we talk about Ben Skoranek? By the way, that tackle on special teams, gets pushed in the back and still makes the play. Is there? I mean, we talked about Miles Killebrew for so long about this, a guy that lives and breathes special teams. It's like a sicko for it. Ben Skoranek is the special teams guy now, I think, for me.
Also, can we talk about his personal foul drawn?
Yeah.
Just absolute flop.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know he had that dog in him. And by dog, I mean Chihuahua that fainted when it got pushed slightly.
I heard internally the team was calling that getting Skylar Thompson. That's bad. I hope Skylar's all good. Got to work that in. Brandon said the defense should get even better. Yeah, what did you make of just the defensive performance as a whole, I guess? You mentioned, obviously, the front seven feeling they showed different looks. They were blitzing at different times, different places, different people. But, as a whole, do you think that there was more creativity there today?
I thought they handled the most difficult assignment they've had all year pretty well with the combination of Jefferson and Addison. I mean, they gave up a bunch of yardage, but outside of the one big play to Addison, they kind of made him earn it. And I feel like that was just the big thing.
Yeah, what was it? 100 yards receiving, close to for Jefferson, in the first half. And then
finished with 126, even though the Vikings were trailing the entire second half. Made some adjustments. I've always said the Steelers defense is good at in-game adjustments. I felt like they did that. Jordan Mason, I thought very similarly. I don't have his split in front of me, but I thought he was effective a little bit early and then just not at all after the break there.
I'm sorry, but we actually do have to go back to this. Jim Picarski said great acting. I forgot to mention Allen, very underappreciated tweet today during the game. Steelers offense went to SoCal to meet with Aaron Rodgers this summer. Apparently, Ben Skoranek went to Hollywood for some acting lessons. I not only liked it, but you also got a retweet on that, which typically doesn't happen for non, in-game stuff or related to news. So fantastic tweet by you. Wanted to bring that up and give you flowers on here because I said I would.
Appreciate it.
But criminally underrated. That should have way more than 130 likes. So if you're on here right now, I need you to take a second and go do that. Somebody I thought mentioned, Shower. What is up with these names, man? Shower in my socks might not have been here at the beginning when we were talking about Kenneth Gainwell's performance. But was there anything that you saw specifically about it? Was it just is it more about the offensive line playing what they were opening up? Was it the vision that was standing out to you? What about Kenneth Gainwell today? Let him have the performance that he did.
I thought he ran hard. Didn't go down with the first guy almost ever. I thought they made some holes for him, and he was really decisive. I think that's what Kenny G always is. I didn't see anything from him running the ball that like looked like a different guy. I think he looked like himself, but he got an opportunity and he made the most of it. He had a couple nice catches, which he's always good at that.
Might not have been here when we brought it up, but we did mention this was like the one time that we did notice Pat being on the field was on the field goal block. And then if you notice the next time that they came out for a field goal block, he was on the other side. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, it was not a great job there on the
not
edge.
A good rep.
Not a good rep, and also not good when that's kind of the only thing that you kind of remember from the game. But like, and he's been like, it's not like that's like Freiermuth out of position or something. Like he's been on the field goal block team or the field goal team his whole career. So uncharacteristic.
Yeah, I thought there was another one here that I want. Gino bringing up when Highsmith is back into the fold. How do we think they can best utilize Herbert, Watt, and Highsmith? Devastating trio at edge.
I mean, just rotate more. Pressure TJ Watt is a terrifying thing to think
about. This is the way though? Like we talked about the 3 edge stuff. We could talk about what TJ looked like on that rushing it right off the other side. It has not looked good. I think that there's obviously a reason.
It's a little bit better today.
Inside.
A little bit. They also lost contained badly on one of those reps where he was over there. That's the other thing about people shouting like, "Run more twists, run more twists." Like when you run a twist, that means you have a defensive what you have YA Black with contained. Like how's that going to go? Like that very predictably not well. So you can do it, but you better get there if you do.
Some more stuff that I know that we already talked a little bit about. Again, like I don't want to leave people hanging that may have came in late. Jordan brought up what did we think from the little bit of Caleb that we did see today. I did like the fact that they gave him like an entire series there, because I think even going back to college, very clear to me that he's a volume runner. Like he has to kind of warm up into it, and just as time goes on, kind of starts to wear you down. So it's like I don't think that he's going to benefit a ton from getting, a carry every couple series or one and then being out for a couple plays. I think like that was probably the right way to utilize him today. Didn't find the end zone like I predicted, but
yeah,
it was all right.
I did not. Carson Wentz was certainly battered in this game and poked in the eye once, but he just couldn't get him out of there. I got very close, I feel like.
On your bold predictions. My other one was Peyton Wilson would have a splash play. I'm not going to give myself credit for him tracking down Jordan Addison, but I mean,
yeah. What was my other one? I can't remember what my other one was.
So it would have been offense.
We both picked Caleb Johnson. I said more than one Caleb Johnson.
Oh,
of course, that was before I knew Jalen Warren wasn't going to play.
Right.
Yeah.
And another thing that we discussed, but we can definitely shine a little bit more light on it for Noel, was thoughts on Anderson. This is the last year. Sam. Oh, that was a question. Isn't this the last year of Sam Hall's contract? It is.
Yep.
And I thought Spence looked really good, using him as that extra offensive lineman. I'm curious to see if we continue to see more of that going forward.
I thought it was really good. And I thought Sam Hall was good in the second half, especially. It wasn't a great start to the game. He was part of that first play pressure, but I thought he was really good as the game went on, especially in the run. They really got to their running game in a way that we haven't seen much in this game.
I'm not going to ice anybody out. I'm kind of surprised that we're getting this type of question, a post-game show. But my guy here, serious question. If one Steelers player could be traded for someone who would help them in another area, who is the player in the Steelers that would most likely be in trade talks?
Player-for-player trades are almost never done, and they're really almost never done in the season. Much more likely would be a scenario where, let's say the Steelers feel like, okay, maybe Calvin Austin's going to miss some time here. The Steelers just feel like they have to make a trade for a wide receiver. I think the much more likely scenario would be trading a draft pick that they really don't think they can afford to trade right now to get the receiver, and then trading a player away early in the offseason to recoup that draft pick. So, like, maybe a guy like Pat Freiermuth, like we were talking about, like, didn't have a big role in this offense. Yeah, you can see, like, a trade like that happening. But that's what happens in the spring, whereas that would be coming, to make up for a draft pick that they don't want to let go, but feel like they have to right now. Sure, that's possible. That might be my answer, honestly. I don't know. I can't think of a player like Highsmith.
Well,
I
I
guess
think
I don't know.
that's what I'm going to say is I think that those are two players that come to mind because of contract. And then especially in the case of Highsmith, you got Herbig behind him who just continues to
Yeah, they got
flash.
Jonnu Smith back for another year too, so they're kind of 3 deep at both of those positions. So yeah, that'd be kind of all that comes to mind. They're not over, maybe Holcomb, but again, that would have to happen this year. He's only 1 more year left on the deal, and they've used him a good bit. I don't know. I think they kind of want to keep him now.
Do you think, because I see in the comments there's a lot of discussion about, Herbig and do you think that a Herbig contract is even something on the minds right now of
No.
Steelers brass?
No. No, I don't. It hasn't even been broached, as far as I'm aware of.
And that's not saying that it's not going to happen. Just it's the thought.
I don't think a Calvin Austin contract has been broached the whole year ahead of Herbig in terms of 4th round picks.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about Washington being targeted off in the first half and him playing a great part in the running game? I was surprised.
I'm not surprised. He's good.
Did you hear them talking on the broadcast? I don't know which one it was, if it was Joe Davis or Greg Olson talking about Washington's size, and they were saying that he was 265.
Olson was like, if he's 265 on 220, yeah, boys, he's 300, every bit of 300. It's a large.
Yes. Yeah. Roman Wilson unable to make any contribution to the passing game. Is he really that bad? When Austin got hurt, they put in Miller and not Roman Wilson, which I thought was pretty telling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Roman Wilson is one of their better receiving options. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. I expect him to play in the slot with Austin out. Outside, I think I'd probably lean more on Skoranek than Scotty Miller, but certainly Scotty Miller's a guy that can make plays. Like, it's not like he's unplayable out there. So
this does feel like, and I don't want Calvin to miss any time, but assuming he's going to miss some time here, I mean, the opportunity is now for Roman Wilson to step up. You don't know, like, this was as unfortunate as it is. Like, when something like this happens, it's kind of like somebody just putting a plate in front of you. Is he going to eat what's on the plate, or is he going to push it away?
Yes,
it's a big opportunity. And we'll see what he makes of it. Any more? Let's hit some last minute stuff as we kind of wrap up here. Alan, I know that we have jumped around the board quite a bit, both sides of the ball, coaching stuff. Is there anything on your mind that wasn't thrown into the comments that we haven't discussed yet?
No, I don't think so. First drive of the second half, I tweeted about this. 0 for 4. And I thought that looked pretty. I thought that was one of the worst drives they had all game. Through the interception coming out of the half against New England, that seems to be an area where it's those offensive coaching staff.
What a contrast from the way they come out in the beginning, too, though.
Right. 2 touchdowns and a field goal on 3 first drives of the game, and no points and a turnover on the first drive of the second half. Big difference. And yeah, something I think is probably an area where that coaching staff is not clicking on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, certainly something to bring up. Let's just stick there and maybe wrap up there unless we see something different thrown in the comments here. Arthur Smith, what did you make of the game he called today? Brian Flores, the way that he blitzes, shows a ton of sim pressure, plays a bunch of cover 2, cover 6. Did you feel like, today you give a lot of credit to the game plan that Art had, or was it more just about the execution up front?
No, I assume that Art woke up this morning with a game plan that involved Jaylen Warren getting the ball 30 times. And then he lit it on fire an hour and a half before the game started and did a really, really, really nice job of coming up with something else that worked. Now, it's not like Warren and Gainwell are so different skill set-wise. You can't do a lot of the same things. But I give an incredible amount of credit to Arthur Smith for that offensive performance, considering as of 9 a.m., Jalen Warren was playing in this game, and then as of 8 a.m., I'm sorry, Jalen Warren was playing this game, and then he wasn't. And that's a lot to deal with.
I love this comment from Lemoyne. Allen lays back on the floor in contemplation. The backup studio here. That it looks great. I'm gonna have to take a screenshot of this. It definitely looks like a floor back there. I love the wood paneling though. That's how my parents' basement is. I was so used to it. I don't know. I might just have to wood panel this entire place, to be honest with you, make me feel more like home. Vitamin peanut butter. Any news on Cam Hayward after he got shaken up?
No.
Pick up with you.
So
you talked about upset.
I like this one. Shower in my socks is a good place to end.
Oh, yeah.
From what we've seen so far, do you guys think the Steelers team is capable of winning a playoff game? I have thought that all offseason and never didn't think that. Smitty, have you changed your mind about that over the course of the last 2 months?
Well, record-wise, they're exactly where I thought they would be.
Same.
At the bye week at 3-1. How they got here, I think that it didn't start out the way that I expected, but it started to look more like the team that I expected over the last couple of weeks. Injuries are going to play a big factor. We'll see what this week and how they come out of the bye week kind of dictates that. I'll say I don't think that my opinion has changed on the Steelers. My opinion may have changed on what the AFC looks like, because I have not been too impressed looking at the landscape of the conference. So I think that they're in as good of a position.
The Ravens starting 1-2 and the Bengals losing Joe Burrow. I think that.
And one of the Chiefs or Ravens is going to be 1-3 unless they tie today. So
correct. So yeah, I think especially if it's the Ravens, like that.
Mm-hmm. I woke up today ready to root for the Chiefs, and didn't see that one coming at the beginning of the year. But that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I guess that's what I'll say, and what I'll end on is I don't necessarily feel all that different about the Steelers. I feel a little bit different about the division and the conference, and think that they're in as good of a position to end the playoff win drought since they've been in it.
Yeah. And I think Aaron Rodgers, for me, provides a good deal of that confidence, too. I just think he's the kind of player that you can much more easily envision going on the road, winning a playoff game.
Yeah, 100%. All right. Appreciate you guys that were in here for the live stream. Of course, people like to watch this back or listen to this back. We put it out on the audio platforms as well. Feel free to still drop your thoughts about what you saw today, and we'll talk about it throughout the week on Afternoon Drive. Maybe Alan can take something for a morning rush. Throw your comments down there below. We'll see how the week shakes out. Alan, tell the people they can find you.
Hey, Saunders _PGH on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. PGH Steelers Now site account, SteelersNow.com. Go over there, read the words so I can get paid. Sign up for SN Plus, and we'll have our subs only live stream Monday, 6 p.m. right here on this YouTube channel. Depending on where you're listening to this, it could be tomorrow, it could be today, it could be right now. Go over there, get it done.
True.
Don't delay. And then me, Smitty, DB, plus whoever else we can get to join us, 6 p.m. subs only live stream hangout on Monday. Don't miss that.
Do I need to find a way? Now Jim's kind of latching onto this as well, and I appreciate it. The get in the van thing. I'm going to think about this. I think I need to find a way to make this how we close out. Yeah, look at this. This is becoming a thing. So we're going to find a way for this to become the closeout. People are really liking it and running with it. So thank you, Ken in New Hampshire, for providing this. We'll find a way to work it in. But yes, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell on your way out. Hit us in the comments. Still, even if you're watching this back, or leave us a 5-star review and subscribe where you're listening to this, Apple, Spotify, wherever your podcast from. This gets posted over there as well. We'll see you guys this week. Morning rush, afternoon drive, night shift, Pelusi's Pick'em, all the good stuff coming to you guys on the channel here. And we'll see you as well today, tomorrow, whatever part of the world you're in, for the Steelers Now Plus live stream as well. You can find me everywhere. Zachary Smith, PGH, for Alan Saunders and myself. This has been Steelers Now Postgame. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.